This is what I've been working for my whole life since I'm 5 years old. 17 years as a fighter, 7 as a pro. World title, my last fight at 23. I'm ready on Saturday night to become unified world champion and keep making history. So this moment for me is the biggest and best moment of my life. I deserve to be here. I worked myself to be here, and this is where I...
On a serious note, the importance of bringing big-time boxing, world championship boxing to this city. You guys are Philadelphia through and through. This is the moment where your son can finally get what he deserves in this city.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. We appreciate Cody for taking the fight, you know what I mean? So many people turn Boots down, you know? Even the top guys, you know what I mean? We wanted Spence, we wanted Crawford, you know what I mean? Stanionis, what's the other boy? Virgil, all of them. Yeah, we send them the word.
And it's a reason why they stand away from me.
I just had to peep in here.
We fight here, you know, and it's a blessing. You know, I'm glad I'm able to, you know, put on a show, you know, and look good and defend my my belt and retain my belt, you know, in a beautiful fashion, knockout fashion, in front of my friends, family, and supporters.
You're a big favourite in this fight. You know this guy's tough. I know you respect him, and he's undefeated, and he's mandatory challenger for a reason. But how much pressure is there on you to put in that performance? You got me running my mouth all the time. You've got everybody else, and I'm telling everybody that you're a star. You have
really no pressure. I've really been in this game since I was a baby. Like, there's no pressure. None of this stuff is. All this stuff is normal to me. My brother's been at the top for Ennis and Derek Poole Ennis. They were at the top. I've seen all this stuff before. This is like really me being in my house right now. Like, this is normal. It's natural, you know. And on fight night, man, I can't wait. He got more pressure than me. I'm telling you that now. He got 20,000 fans going against him. That's way more pressure than me. You know, I'm gonna be. It's like me being on the couch, sitting at home with my feet up, being here.
That Jaron Ennis would be signing with Matchroom Boxing and DAZN. Now, this was a massive announcement for us, and the news and the ramifications that had...
In a matter of seconds, the boxing world was left in complete disbelief. Jaron "Boots" Ennis did not walk into the press conference searching for friendly exchanges or routine promotional moments. He arrived with a purpose, and he delivered that message in the most shocking fashion imaginable by slapping Xander Zayas across the face. To many observers, it did not feel like an act designed for publicity or attention. Instead, it appeared to be a direct statement from Ennis, a clear warning aimed at the man standing across from him. In that single moment, Boots made his feelings known and sent a powerful signal about how he views Zayas and where he believes the power dynamic stands before they finally meet in the ring.
I'm gonna do what I do best in Puerto Rico. It's gonna make history one more time.
I'm saying that now. It's gonna get nasty. I'm gonna put on a beautiful show. You know, I'm gonna look good. You know, and we're going.
Jaron "Boots" Ennis looked completely unaffected by everything that unfolded afterward. There was no visible remorse, no panic, and no sign that he regretted what had happened. Instead, he carried himself with the confidence of a fighter who felt he had already accomplished exactly what he intended to do. While the situation created plenty of discussion and controversy, Ennis appeared calm and composed, almost as if the incident had never taken place. That ability to remain relaxed in the middle of chaos is one of the traits that many believe separates him from other fighters. While emotions surrounding the fight continued to intensify, Xander Zayas was left dealing with the attention, while Boots appeared completely at ease. It is what it is. That was the response Xander Zayas offered after the now-famous press conference incident involving Jaron "Boots" Ennis. On the surface, Zayas appeared composed and professional, refusing to let the moment trigger an emotional reaction. However, many people watching interpreted his response differently, believing the situation may have affected him more deeply than he was willing to show publicly. Long before either fighter has thrown a punch, some observers feel Ennis may have already gained an important psychological advantage. By creating such a dramatic moment, Boots has forced attention onto his opponent and placed additional pressure on him heading into fight night. If mental warfare was part of Ennis' strategy, some believe he may have already accomplished his objective.
It is what it is. At the end of the day, I got to continue doing business, and I got to continue being a professional. And I know at some point in our career...
Eddie Hearn appeared to take great interest in the drama that unfolded, and from his perspective, the situation was easy to understand. He believes that when Jaron boots Ennis is pushed repeatedly, frustration does not simply surface in a normal way. Instead, it turns into something much more dangerous and focused. What Hearn saw at that press conference was a fighter carrying extra determination and a stronger edge than before. In his eyes, Ennis left the event with even more motivation than he had when he arrived. Many now believe that added intensity could become a significant factor once the action begins inside the ring. If Boots channels those emotions correctly, Zayas could be facing an even more aggressive and determined opponent than originally expected.
I think when you're getting poked like that in a face-to-face, after a while the temper goes, and it's good. I think it's going to...
Beneath the headlines, confrontations, and dramatic moments, many believe there is a deeper side to Jaron boots Ennis. At the center of everything is a fighter motivated by far more than fame or recognition. His drive comes from representing his family, his city, and the people who supported him long before he became a major name in boxing. That kind of motivation cannot be manufactured for cameras, and it does not disappear under pressure. Instead, it often grows stronger as the stakes become larger. When fighters reach the biggest moments of their careers, that deeper sense of purpose can become the difference between success and failure. For Boots, that motivation continues to fuel his pursuit of greatness.
That's where I'm from. That's where my family's from, and I've been putting on ever since.
Some supporters have gone as far as calling Jaron boots Ennis the second-best fighter in the entire sport, regardless of weight class. The praise surrounding him extends well beyond the 154-pound division and places him among boxing's most respected names. Since this fight was announced, analysts and fans have consistently spoken about Ennis as one of the elite talents in the game. For Xander Zayas, this matchup represents far more than another title defense or championship opportunity. He is stepping into the ring with a fighter many consider worthy of pound-for-pound recognition alongside boxing's biggest stars. While the press conference incident generated massive headlines, many believe it simply highlighted the confidence and intensity Ennis intends to bring into the actual fight.
Skilled boxer than Xander Zayas. I think Boots is phenomenal. I got him as the second best fighter in the world. I got you 14 too. And when I say that, I'm not talking about accolades, what they've achieved, achievements and stuff like that. I'm just talking about boxing ability. That's why I think Boots beat me. Unless, like my man said, he's not as good as I think. And I said that when the fight was announced.
Greg Hackett acknowledges that Xander Zayas deserves considerable credit for everything he has achieved up to this point in his career. He remains undefeated, has never been knocked out, and has never even been dropped during a professional fight. He enters this contest with youth, strength, confidence, and plenty of ambition, all qualities that make him a legitimate threat. However, Hackett also recognizes another important reality. Many people believe Jaron boots Ennis gained an early mental advantage following the heated press conference exchange, adding pressure before the fighters have even entered the ring together. Beyond that, while Zayas has successfully handled every challenge placed before him, he has not yet faced someone with the combination of experience, skill, and reputation that Ennis possesses. That difference could become one of the defining factors when fight night finally arrives.
Just the lights, he bringing everything to it. I think it's a great test for Boots because it's a guy who you can say is durable. You can say he's durable because he's never been stopped. I never even seen him go down. You know what I mean? So it's not like we talking about a jump. You know what I mean? He coming to fight. And I think this kid being young will make him dangerous. Him being young, energetic, and then a big guy. He got real good size to him. You know what I mean? Strong guy. And I think that...
Raleigh Romero shares an opinion that many throughout the boxing community quietly hold. In his view, picking against Jaron boots Ennis is an extremely difficult thing to do. At the highest level of boxing, experience often becomes one of the most valuable weapons a fighter can possess, and Ennis has spent years competing against elite opposition. His ring intelligence, technical ability, and experience under the brightest lights have helped establish him as one of the sport's most respected competitors. Xander Zayas certainly has youth, talent, and tremendous potential, making him one of the most exciting young fighters in boxing. However, stepping into the ring with someone as experienced and accomplished as Ennis presents an entirely different level of challenge. Talent can carry a fighter a long way, But when a rising young contender faces a seasoned elite competitor, the margin for mistakes becomes incredibly small, making this one of the toughest assignments of Zayas' career.
Hard to really go against Boots because on that one with specifically Xander, you know, I feel Xander's still young, you know? Boots is a lot older. And
Xander Zayas has spoken with plenty of confidence about keeping hold of his championship belts, repeatedly stating that Jaron "Boots" Ennis will leave Brooklyn empty-handed. Those are bold words from a young champion, especially after the dramatic press conference moment that grabbed the attention of the entire boxing world. Zayas even joked that the closest Boots would ever come to those titles was simply touching them. However, the atmosphere changed instantly when Ennis confronted him during the event, creating a completely different tone around the fight. Now, as June 27th approaches, many supporters believe those belts could soon find a new home around the waist of Jaron "Boots" Ennis.
It was something that was going to happen. He was going to touch the belt. And at the beginning, I told him, touch him. This is the closest you're going to get to them. So I don't mind you touching what's mine, because at the end of the day, he's going to stay at home. But then at the end, he just started rubbing, and I'm like, all right, bro, like, we're good. Like, you don't have to keep touching him. And he touched him again, so I dropped him. I'm like, all right, this is the last time. What's up? And that
Andre Ward, an undefeated Hall of Fame caliber fighter and one of the most respected voices in boxing, has openly questioned whether this challenge may be arriving a little too early for Xander Zayas. Holding world titles is an impressive accomplishment, but facing a fighter many consider among the very best pound-for-pound talents in the sport is an entirely different test. Ward has praised Zayas for his movement, determination, and ambition to become Puerto Rico's next great champion. However, he has also suggested that admiration for a fighter's potential does not necessarily mean they are fully prepared for an opponent like Jaron "Boots" Ennis. With the spotlight now brighter than ever, Boots heads into Brooklyn carrying the momentum and opportunity he has long been seeking, determined to make the most of every second when fight night arrives.
This matchup initially, the first thing I think about, is it too soon for Xander Zayas? Is it a year too soon? Is it a year and a half too soon? Some would say, but he's still he's a two-time world champion. That doesn't mean that he's ready for this. I think Xander, and I like Xander a lot. I like him a lot personally. I like his movement. I like how he's carried himself, and I like him. I've seen his growth, calling his fights on ESPN. He's got a lot to like. He's got the range. He's got the height. He's tough. He's got a whole country behind him, and he fully embraces trying to be the next great Puerto Rican champion. And he's going to cause some problems for Boots Ennis throughout this fight. But my initial question is this too soon, or is it the right time? Is it ripe and the right time for Xander Zayas? And for Jaron "Boots" Ennis, he needed this name. He needed this.
Xander Zayas has frequently discussed his development as a fighter, speaking about physical growth, improved conditioning, and the work being done by his training and nutrition team. He has even referenced respected names such as Terence Crawford and Shakur Stevenson when explaining the standards he is trying to follow. Those comparisons certainly reinforce his confidence and show the seriousness of his preparation. However, Jaron "Boots" Ennis has never been the type of fighter who is influenced by reputation or impressive references. His attitude at the press conference reflected that mindset, as he showed little concern for appearances or public perception. In his eyes, confidence and credentials mean very little if a fighter is already feeling pressure before the opening bell. Many observers believe Ennis may have already begun establishing that psychological advantage well before the two men officially step into the ring.
The whole point of fighting at 154, you got to make a little bit of weight. I'm growing, I'm getting better, I'm getting bigger. We keep controlling it. I have a great nutritionist team that work with me. The ones that work with Terence Crawford, Shakur Stevenson, so they know what they're doing. And I believe in them throughout.
Roy Jones Jr., widely regarded as one of the most naturally gifted fighters the sport has ever seen, has offered a balanced assessment of Xander Zayas heading into this matchup. He has never questioned Zayas' talent, dedication, or future potential. Instead, his evaluation centers on whether Zayas has already reached the elite level that Jaron "Boots" Ennis currently occupies. According to Jones, the issue is not effort or ability, but rather the difference in proven accomplishments against top competition. He believes Zayas still has room to grow before matching that standard. While continuing to develop is valuable advice for any young fighter, the challenge awaiting him in Brooklyn may be one of the harshest learning experiences of his career. With Ennis standing across the ring, Every weakness and mistake could be exposed immediately under the brightest lights.
I don't know if he's on Boots level yet.
What's the best advice you could give him if
He's
he's heading into it?
Just keep trying to advance, keep learning your craft, keep studying your craft, keep working on your repertoire, because having a deep repertoire goes into you got like Boots.
Oscar De La Hoya, a former world champion who spent years competing against boxing's biggest stars, has also leaned toward Jaron "Boots" Ennis when discussing this matchup. His opinion is not based on a lack of respect for Xander Zayas, nor does he view the contest as completely one-sided. Rather, he believes Ennis possesses several elite qualities that make the difference at the highest level. His ability to manage distance, fire accurate combinations, and maintain relentless pressure throughout a fight are attributes that separate him from many of his peers. Those advantages have convinced numerous respected boxing figures to favor Ennis, and De La Hoya appears to share that view because of the consistently high-level Boots has demonstrated inside the ring.
Xander Zayas versus Boots Ennis. This is more like it. This is what we want to see.
This is a phenomenal fight, and they're both in their primes. Xander Zayas is 23 years old. He turned pro when he was 17, and he's a unified world champion, going in there against Boots Ennis, who he's only had one fight against the guy who was, 14-1? Got rid of him in a round. So he's completely, I don't care, what Eddie Hearn was saying, that guy was untested. So he's completely untested at 154 pounds, in there against one of the best champions in the division. Mate, that fight is going to be electric. Puerto Rico in Brooklyn on June 27th.
Greg Hackett's perspective reflects a reality that every boxing fan understands. On any given night, unexpected outcomes are always possible inside the ring. If Xander Zayas wants to emerge victorious, he will likely need one of the best performances of his career. He must use every physical advantage available to him, establish his style early, and prevent Jaron "Boots" Ennis from finding comfort or rhythm at any stage of the fight. That strategy may offer the clearest path to success. The challenge, however, is that Ennis has repeatedly shown he is not the type of fighter who allows opponents to control the pace or dictate the terms. His actions leading up to the fight have only reinforced the belief that he intends to impose his presence from the very beginning.
It always comes down to that night. You know what I mean? You got to be right that night. My opinion, Xander would have to use his size. You know what I mean? Use your size. Impose your will. Box a little bit, but impose your will at times. You know what I mean? Don't let Boots steal the rounds. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who's to say, though? That kid might hit hard enough to get a knockout. We don't know. You know what I mean? And that's why I love the fight.
Absolutely.
We don't know. Because one thing I can say, not to cut you off, when your back is to the wall, man, you do some amazing things. You know what I'm saying?
Now everything comes down to Brooklyn on June 27th at the Barclays Center, where Jaron "Boots" Ennis and Xander Zayas will finally settle the growing tension inside the ring. In many ways, the story of this fight feels like it truly began during that unforgettable press conference moment that immediately captured the attention of boxing fans everywhere. Since then, anticipation has continued to build as both fighters prepare for one of the most important nights of their careers. For Ennis, this is the type of stage he has spent years chasing. Critics questioned his resume, doubters wondered whether he had faced enough elite competition, and many demanded a defining performance. Promoters and supporters, however, believe they see a fighter entering this event with a different level of focus and determination. The confidence, the intensity, and the spotlight all point toward a potentially career-defining evening. Now the talking is almost over, and the answers will come where they always do in boxing, inside the ropes. The only question left is how it all ends. Does Boots deliver a statement victory, or can Zayas shock the boxing world with a massive upset?